Alrighty, so Coach, you got some quarterback rankings to go over.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about it. Do you have that? Can you pull up that picture of the grip, just the blank football? I got a few little red dots. Trying
Oh
to
man,
educate the masses.
oh man. Oh well, that happened.
Yeah.
But
Click, click.
here we go.
All right.
But yeah, so okay, I got Shador Sanders
Well,
having his little
no,
grip.
no.
There
The
he is.
Yeah, right there. All right. So very good, very good. All right. So for anybody interested, this is a classic grip of a football. Like I've said over and over and over, I mean, scientists, coaches, everybody's kind of studied the best, you know, fundamental way to grip a football to throw a spiral. And there you see it right there. At the very top is your index, your pointing finger, and you can see you can put it not too much toward the nose of the ball, but somewhere in between where I've got that red dot. Okay, and then you go to the other fingers, and then we always said top 2 5. All right. So my pointing finger is above the little white stripe, typically. Now, do you realize? Do you, Jack? Do you realize, or have you learned why they put stripes on the ball?
What's that, Coach?
At night, so you could see, if when when they moved some games to night games, and you had the dark football or whatever, and you tried to throw a pass, it was hard to see, even for the primarily for the fans. So they did the little white stripe. Now NFL, of course, obviously always had lights, and they didn't need the white stripe. So in NFL football, it's just totally brown. All right, but then college and universities were slow. They played most of their games during the day. When they moved to night games and stuff like that, they put the stripe. And typically, what it was professional. Most of the professional games were always played during the day. Didn't need stripe. Um, College, games were sometimes held at night, so they added the stripe, half stripe, and then high school did the full stripe. All right, it was only like about 30 years ago that the high schools went to the went to the college model on the half stripe. So anyway, the basic grip right there with your 4 fingers, all right, index somewhere above the white stripe, and then we say you can see where I have the dots, top 2 5. All right, and then you can see the thumb that I've got down there was typically below that stripe. All right, so that right there is a classic grip. All right, so now we'll move forward. And then what I've been looking at, and I'm doing a deep dive in, is SEC quarterbacks. And so the first two I chose to do was Arch, Manning and Ty Simpson. All right, one of the things I did was just found a photograph that showed their grip. And so let's go with Arch, Manning, and I think I
Good.
have grip one. And it's just a photograph how he grips the ball. And you're going to see in that photograph that he is very high at the very nose of the ball. Have you found it?
I somewhere, but
It's should be Arch grip one, or it may just be Manning grip one, just grip one.
there we go.
All right, let's see it.
I think we got it. He's
No,
preparing for years.
no, that's a video. No, it's a photograph.
Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna find it.
Yeah, it's just a photograph. A link I sent, or well,
Here we go. We're gonna find you. We're gonna
yeah,
find you.
I sent it through your Gmail or shared it through Drive.
There we go. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Arch Manning will bring throughout
Yeah,
2020.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I mean, he really grips high toward the nose of the ball, and watching him throw the ball, I mean, I see a lot of wobbles. I see a lot of issues with regard to it, and
I
so
think
I've got a
that's the
couple. I've got a all right. I've got a couple of photographs. All right, so look at it. See if you can pull it in. Just blow it up, maybe a little more. But if you look how he's gripping the ball, there you go. Look where his fingers are, way toward the nose of the ball. I mean, see, we said top 2 5. Look at his second finger right there. All right, it's on the stripe. And then look at his third finger. It's probably on the, we said top 2 5. I mean, it's that way I look at it. He's, I mean, not even top. He's above top, but maybe 1 4. And so it's really high on the front end of the ball, the nose of the ball. Go to the second picture I've got of it. You'll see that he's really toward the high of the ball, top end of the ball. I've got my ball right here, and so anyway, normally it's top 2 5 where I've got it right there. All right, so let me watch. I'm gonna move it a little further up toward the nose of the ball, and you can see that there's the stripe. All right, and so he's way up here on the top end of the ball instead of down lower. And so you look right there. See where I'm showing? And then notice too that he's rotated more instead of his fingers on the laces. Notice where he's rotated even further over. Do you see what I'm doing with the ball? So look what he's
Yep.
got right there. All right. And so what's going to happen with regard to that, instead of throwing, with his fingers, the fingertips, he's more throwing with the middle part of his finger. Instead of, you want to throw with your fingertips, you throw with the fingertips, not the middle part of the ball. And so that's what you see right there. All right. And so consequently, go to the video and you can see I've got a video. Now, obviously, every now and then he's going to maybe get a spiral out of there. But watch, especially when he throws a deep ball. Pull that video up. You're going to see some interesting and science tells us it's easier to catch a spinning spiral than it is a little, wobbly, what back in the old days we called it a duck. And this guy throws a lot of ducks.
There we go. Let's pull it up.
All right, expand it out if you can.
If I can.
Yeah. But if you want to look close right here, he's going to throw a little side arm right there. You can't really tell much on that one. Let's go to his deep balls where they're going to show, after he releases. And if you pause it, you can show. Now watch the ball. Look at it. See it wobbling? Yeah. Looks like it's playing really fast. But anyway, if you watch it, I mean, that ball is wobbling in the air. All right. Let it release. Let's see. You can see it right there wobbling. All right. Can't tell much with that one. But watch this one right here. You're going to start to see it wobble. Let it go. Look at it. You can see it wobbling right there. See it? Not a lot of spin. Not a lot of spin. Here we go this side to show it even better. Look at that thing wobbling. You see it? Blah, 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 blah. Watch it again. Wobbling. All right. So anyway, so I'm looking at that. And I'm going, I'm an old coach. I'm going to fundamentals. All right. And so I just see some fundamental. And I talked about it with Shador and the way he grips the ball. And I want to go back so that the audience, whoever chooses to listen, sports science. You can go, what was that show on ESPN, Sports Science? And they talk about the art. Yeah, you can go look at them. And they talk about the art of throwing the football. Okay, and that art is slowly dying because these guys are just grabbing it and slinging it. Now, when I'm looking at quarterbacks, all right, so I'm looking at first techniques, fundamentals. All right, now I have no control what they're seeing. All right, so the second thing about coaching quarterbacks is when they drop back, their progression. Are they reading? Are they reading beforehand so they have an idea where to go? Or it's typically like this. You read early, you're in the pocket, you read the defense, you read the coverage, and then after the ball snapped, then all of a sudden now you're seeing if they make an adjustment. All right, they were looked like they were going to cover three deep, and then all of a sudden they rotate this guy over here up. You read that, and then boom, once you make that read, now where do I go with the ball? So I have no control over that because I'm not sitting in the, behind the quarterback when he's releasing the ball and asking him questions. Why are you throwing it there? All right. So some quarterbacks, I mean, Arch Manning may be the greatest at reading defenses, stuff like that, which helps him. Okay. But what I'm saying is, technique wise, the way he throws the ball is a little lacking. So let's go to Ty Simpson.
There we go. Let's
I got a
take a
couple
look
of pictures. Yeah, I got a couple of pictures how he grips the ball.
Here we go. Here we go. Those are laser practice.
No. I want to show you him before he throws. I want to show you with the grip. I think it's Ty grip 1, Ty grip 2, Simpson grip 1.
Yeah, there we go. Grip 1.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I got my readers on, so I'm having a. All right, so look at that. Look at his grip. Classic. Top, 2, 5. And when I say top, I'm talking about fingers 3, 4, and 5. You can see, so he's got his index finger, the pointing finger, this finger right here, the pointing one at the very right where it probably should be. And then look where his fingers are. All right. Top, across top lace. Then look at number 2, and then he's down, 4 or 5. And notice when I'll show you right here, when Arch was gripping the ball, he was more over this way. But no, now look at Ty. He's more the classic grip, top 2, 5, not way over here. All right. And then Arch was, his hand was up like this instead of down, top 2, 5. All right. So go to the second picture. I like it even better because it's with him, he and his dad and his brother. Grip 2.
Here we go.
Yeah. This is the pose. He's going to grip it the way he throws it in this second picture. All right, so can you bring it in some?
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, so we bring it in a little. We'll practice it. Look at this is how he is standing there with his dad, with his little brother, and look how he grips the ball. That is classic. All right, index finger a little above the white stripe, not too far. Look at his third finger, top. Look at the fourth finger, 2, and then look at his pinky, the little finger, 5. Classic. All right, and so then watch him throw the ball, the third one. And when you watch him throw, watch the ball. You're not going to see a wobble.
Yeah. Is that the Simpson motion or?
Yeah. Throwing motion, yeah. Simpson throwing
There
motion.
we go.
You're going to see it. It's going to be watch the ball.
Here we go. I think we got it.
Now, let's see. Here we go. Watch. All right.
Here we go.
Watch the ball.
Boom.
Perfect spiral. And I can tell you what, as a receiver, that's an easy ball to catch.
There we
And you
go.
don't
Shout out.
you don't have to worry about dislocating your fingers because when you throw a little duck, whack, 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 quack, quack, or whatever, and it hits your finger a little odd because it's, fluttering, kind of like that. When you throw a spinning spiral, that ball goes right in between, those fingers right there. And you don't wind up with a finger that is just So
There you
anyway,
go.
so I'm going through all these SEC quarterbacks, all right, and I'm going just fundamental and just looking how they, and then I'll rank them. And right now, I'm preface this, Jack. Now I don't know how their ability to read and process information. They did this. I throw here. I throw this. I can't get into that right there. The only way you can do that is be right behind them when they're throwing. When you run the play and they're throwing the ball during practice, and or you can go in a film room. You can do and that kind of stuff. So there's a point where that can overshadow fundamental throwing the ball. But this is all about technique, Jack. All about technique. Okay.
Technique.
So
What you need.
I stand by right now. Technique wise, Ty Simpson is a lot higher than Arch Manning.
There you go.
Ty may only be able to throw it 70 yards. Arch may be able to throw it 80. So I have no cut. I have no with that. Mine is on technique. And I will argue with anybody on how you grip football and how you throw it and how you release it. I'll argue with anybody. And I can tell you right now, Ty Simpson is much, much better technique wise.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. And Pit Snipe Huskers asking, "How's the Tide today?" Oh, we're doing pretty good, pretty good. Thank you for tuning in, good buddy.
Yeah. Amen.
There you go. But yeah, like our QB game, I think it's gonna be fine. But I am curious to see where the rest of the SEC QBs rank for
Yeah. I'm
2020.
gonna bring it to you. I'm like I said, mine's just solely on technique. I know a little bit about that, and next week I'm gonna do a deep dive into Pavia Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Diego Pavia.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then the Auburn Tigers.
oh man,
I'll bring
like,
those
like
two comparisons.
oh man, like Lenoris Sanders, Garrett Nussmeyer. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I kind of feel like Garrett Nussmeyer is a little
I
overhyped.
got them. And then in the end, we got. I'm gonna do 2 a week, and so in the end, I'll give you my technique, whatever ranking, and then yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
I'll tell
very
you
good.
what, technique has a lot to do with success. I think Coach Saban would go with that, and I feel good with regard to Alabama because AJ McCarron's back in town. And I mean,
Oh,
he brings some what wisdom to the table. AJ threw a good ball.
oh yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I may have to go down there and have a conversation.
There you go, man. There you go.